Welcome to Life So Far. I'm Rich Bryant and I sit down with everyday people from all different backgrounds to hear the wisdom and stories from their life so far. Thank you so much for stopping by and I really hope you enjoy this next conversation. Nelson, awesome to chat, mate.
Yeah, it's good to be here in my dining room.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's great.
This table is luscious.
Thank you. It comes in many parts.
Oh, that's good.
It's beautiful.
Sounds great. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I tried to whittle it down to one, and then I got down to two, and I couldn't, in my mind, have them fight it out.
Okay,
so
we'll be the judge.
Yeah, we'll be the judge, and everybody at home can judge. The first one was kind of came out of this whole idea of like, how am I in a relationship with my wife? And I wanted something really simple to get me through, like the times when I don't want to have a conversation or, the scary things. And it's really simple. It's like, it's lean in, because my personality is that like when something's too hard, the easiest option is to just sort of let it brush over and run its course. Don't worry about it when you need to tackle it. So it's lean in.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Oh yeah. And the other one was when I started teaching, and it just the list of things. No matter if you're a list person, you spend 50% of your energies making the list, and then 20% executing, and then 30% like worrying about the list you've just made.
Yeah, so, I'm not much of a list person, but my wife is a massive list person.
She'll understand. Yeah. So I was very worried about that, and I once heard my boss walk past just chanting something to herself, and she was just, I have to do this, but one thing at a time. So I've sort of adopted this whenever I affirm in myself there's all this stuff to do, life, work, I always kind of try and finish it with but one thing at a time, or just one thing. Yeah, something really simple, just one thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's my favorite pieces of advice that I ever.
That's really cool. That just one thing, the lean in's great as well. So yeah. I don't think there's a winner. I think
it's hard, right?
It's a clear draw, I think. But the one thing at a time, so key. Because otherwise you just get overwhelmed.
And then nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it all gets moved to the next day. And then you spend twice as long writing your list as well.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, that's really, really good advice.
Cool.
What has been your greatest struggle?
Oh, I think my greatest struggle was I'm very much, I think my year one report card, I refer to my year one report card because preschool doesn't count. And then year one, it's sort of like they start diagnosing you into personality.
Yeah, preschool is just like color in the snow.
It is. And you got a nap.
Yeah.
Year one is where school happened.
Yeah, it gets real.
And I remember my report card said works like a really good independent worker. And I think that's sort of put me on this trajectory of life where I don't work well or live well with others.
Okay.
So my biggest struggle was when I got married and Kate and I moved in together, right? And I was very I'm happy to cook and clean and vacuum, do the laundry because there are things that need to get done. And then I think at one stage Kate turned to me and went, "What do I do?" And there was just this like unspoken tension because I was still working at Lean In at that point about what is her role in this dynamic.
How do you share the load? Yeah.
And that if you ever work on a group project with me, thank goodness my work is so independent. I'm always happy just be like, yeah, I'll just do it. It's no problem. And leave you nothing. And I think some personality types will love that because it means they don't have to do anything. And that'll appease me because I get to do everything and understand everything. But then it calls a question of like how well do you work with others and how do you let others' ability shine? So
have you found that that leads into a bit of like micro managing?
Oh, 100%. Like any perfectionist listening would know that is the biggest trope of perfectionism and control. Being a control freak is that they go hand in hand. So,
have you found ways of combating that? What strategies?
I think learning to just be really direct in your communication. I think that rubs some people the wrong way when you're so direct about this is what I need to feel successful in us community, but it's really just me going, I'm micromanaging myself so that you know where I stand on things, and some other people may not handle that well, but at least I've done my due diligence on it. Yeah, it's a battle. I think you really got to figure out who you're working with first.
Yeah, it's true. It kind of that's an interesting point, isn't it? That it's dependent entirely on the group of people that you're working with. So not only having the self-awareness for yourself, but also trying to figure out how you can best serve those people. Because, to be honest, honestly, there's a lot of people who they need someone.
Yes.
Like to just be like, this is what you have to do. You know, they're just so task-driven. They need someone.
There's been so many times where I've gone, man, I hope McDonald's is hiring. I think it'd be so much better just working at McDonald's. I'll flip burgers.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'll just do fries. I've heard fries is a magical place.
Yeah.
I've never worked at McDonald's, but whenever I'm there, I'm going, I could do that.
Yeah, I could do that.
I could do that full time.
I could do it excellently.
I would salt your chips to perfection. Yeah. Even though McDonald's has already worked that out.
Yeah.
But
you're a school teacher, are you?
Yeah, I'm a school teacher. I thought about going like when it's just too much. School, for those who've never worked in a school before or have only been students, being on the other side of it is no more magical than working at McDonald's. Like if teaching was a glass wall that they're well preparing burgers, like you'd see that management is doing the same thing that we're trying to do to you, that like just do a little bit more and then we do a little test. We're just a little cog in the wheel.
In the wheel, yeah. That's really interesting. What's been your happiest moment?
I think my happiest moment was proposing to Kate, only because it came out of some crazy circumstances, and I had my appendix taken out, and there's nothing like having a near death experience in Japan to then
you got your
propose.
appendix taken out.
So I kind of had said to mum and dad, because mum and dad were like, let's have our last family holiday.
Right.
Have you been on one of those?
I haven't.
No. Okay.
I think it's coming. But
it's coming.
We've all moved out of home, so I think it's coming, but it's a little bit overdue.
Yeah. But when your parents turn to you and go, this is the last family holiday before things start changing. Yeah. So my parents had one of those epiphanies, and in Japan, I was like, you know, when you go, like, I'm one of those people who goes on holidays and goes, oh, stomach bug, get over it. You're in a foreign country. Yeah. And I did that for 2 weeks, driving around Taiwan. And I was like, man, constipation's a real kicker today. But whatever, I'm just going to eat delicious food in Taiwan. And then I got to Japan and walking around the underground subways, and I stopped at the bottom of the stairs case and went, Mum, Dad, I can't walk. Like, it hurts so much to walk. Rushed to hospital. Long story short, 39-degree temperature.
Wow.
And emergency appendix surgery. Dad saying, we'll pay whatever you want to just get it out, take care of him. And then I came back to Australia, and when Mum and Dad got back, tricked them into meeting Kate's parents and proposed previous to that. And the rest is history. And that was probably the happiest, because it's like Kate will hate me for saying this, but it came out of so many lies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to spin that web to get everyone on board in meeting in the same place.
Exactly right. Yeah, so, that's probably the happiest moment of my life, because it led to something fantastic, but also the web of lies was just so deep.
And the build-up was painful.
Yeah. And the people who are involved, they know who they are. They're real heroes. Yeah. If you ever need them on your side,
let us know.
Yeah.
We'll link them in the description.
Yeah, we'll link them.
That's what you say in the podcast. We probably won't do that.
Better not.
What is what legacy do you want to leave, or how do you want to be remembered?
Oh gosh.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. I thought a little bit on this one, on the, like, man, that's a dark thought to be like, I'm not here anymore, but what will you remember me as? And I think it comes down to being competitively kind, I want to say.
Explain that.
I think I want people to remember me as like, oh, he just made me want to be better, but he did it because he was a nice guy. Not because like you want to be me or, you know, that's fantastic. But, you know, I just want the people around me to be better than me because I'm trying to be better than you.
You want to be someone who's building people up?
Yeah. Yeah. And then like if people are deep enough to think that, oh, why did I do that thing? Oh, it's because Nelson did it, so I did it. Or, you know, treated others that way. You know, and it just makes the wheel of life turn a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, and I'm happy not to be remembered.
So you want to be setting an example that people want to emulate. That's a good example.
But not an attacky Instagram, TikTok way.
In a relational
way. And just, yeah, I'm happy to be competitive about it. Because if I see you trying to be better, I'll be like, oh, cool, I got to...
What do you mean by better?
I don't know. Like, if you're like, I'm really passionate about animals. Let's go save the animals. I'm like, yeah, I'll save the animals with you. Let's go do it, but I'll save 2 more puppies, you know.
So that I then saved 3.
Yeah, and we're saving more puppies by the day.
Isn't that like a pretty, I totally get where you're coming from. Is that a sustainable thing, do you think, though?
I think it's more of a nuanced thing. You don't realize it that you're doing it.
You don't get it until you're doing it. And then when Nelson finally leaves this earth, you go, he was the reason that I saved 15,000 puppies.
Yeah. And secretly, all I want to know is just be like on the back of the plaque. I don't really want to be on the front.
You want to be in the front.
Yeah.
You want to be the person that you're like, that makes so much sense.
100%.
Nelson.
If ever a student of mine ever listens to this, they'll go, oh, gee, that makes sense. Because one of my like first day spiels is that, you know, when you guys become rich and famous, because I've already reached my potential. I'm super honest about that. I'm like, this is what a double degree got me. And I'm here to inspire the next generation to not be inspired, but to be like, yeah, I got rich and famous because my, you know, year 10 science teacher taught me a little bit about velocity. So then I could act in a movie and then go like, hey, come back to school and help a brother out. You're rich and famous only because of me. Yeah. Your time management skill being the PA to the Prime Minister of Australia was because of your chemistry teacher in year 11.
Of course.
Help a brother out.
Yeah.
You know?
Like repay the debt.
Yeah. I worked really hard.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a bit competitive about that. It's my long game I'm playing.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. I need just one kid to become super rich to have the arc and invite me on.
And then they can do their commencement speech.
Yeah.
And you can be like the person who comes through at the very end.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is the person who's giving the commencement speech.
Exactly right. If someone becomes Australian of the Year and they want to include me on their speech, or why not? Or appoint me as education minister when they're prime minister. That only makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why? Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. What piece of advice or encouragement would you give to people listening or watching?
On that, I think in a world where we're so used to observing, I think we need to learn how to listen again. I think that you think about the people who are really prevalent in your life, right? They're only really, really good at what they do because they listened and they watched first before they acted. And I think there's something about being impulsive which is really attractive to people who shouldn't be impulsive. And I think we need more listeners and observers. So like one of my favorite practices to do is just to sit and watch at shopping centers and try and come up with backstories, of course.
Right.
But it's enjoyable first in every situation to listen, even though it's hard. It'll help you in every situation, you know, and not just listen and watch what they're saying, but body language too. Yeah. And, you know, if you Google or YouTube, you know, how to read people's body language and how to be more influential, they always first point to like what they're saying, of course, and also body language.
Yeah. Body language is key, isn't it?
Yeah. You think about the best communicators and the best con artists, they always look at body language. And so that's why I'm like, I want to be a better con artist at my job.
Yeah. As a teacher.
Oh yeah, I trick you to learning. Am I really that smart? No, I've just got a head start. That's what I think about.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are tricking people. Well, not you are into learning, aren't you? By making things fun and
enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think more palatable. I like to say I'm going to try make things more palatable today, and I'm going to make it super hip and relatable. And the kid's like, "Stop, sir." I'm like, "Great. That means I've hit you. I've got you."
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It does make sense because I think when I think back to school, because what do you teach? You're teaching science.
I teach science and chemistry. Yeah. So my favorite thing to do is to get a kid who hates science, not because they're bad at it, because someone along the way ruined it for them, or they don't think it's cool enough, or like, they had a teacher last year who was terrible, which is a shame.
It is.
Or like, a kid goes like, "I hate drama." I'm like, "Why?" "Oh, the teacher." And I go, "That's a shame." Yeah. I can't speak for that colleague of mine, but I can go, "That's a shame," because that's potentially a passion that you just shut the door to. I
found that I had my school, I just didn't enjoy school at all. But I remember science. In year 8, I was like, this is awesome. We have a whole subject of like legit science in a lab. Like primary school had never had that. We had this teacher. He was the most boring person I've ever met. And we never did one sort of like hands-on experiment. It was all just things out of books. And I hated science until I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to be here. So I played up. I would intentionally get myself kicked out of class because they had this thing called the responsible thinking classroom.
Oh, yes.
But it was in the sick bay. Yeah. And they had these extremely comfortable beds. So I would go and sleep for the afternoon. It was fantastic. But in year 10, we had this teacher, and you could just tell she was obsessed with science. Like, that was her life. And it was the funnest class.
Yeah.
And I didn't become a scientist. But ever since then, I've really enjoyed, like things on YouTube around science and this sort of stuff, and going, this literally, our entire world is built on this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How can you make this boring?
Exactly right. And one of my biggest things about, seniors choosing science, and I'm addressing the kids who shouldn't be in senior science, but there's this culture around modern teaching that says that kids have to be good at everything. It's kind of like that whole master, like I'm terrible at sayings. It's like,
which one?
Like the master of none, but
the jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, like you got to be good at everything. And one of my favorite things to do in year 11 is just to shake the boat a bit and go, in the first 3 weeks, you're going to hate chemistry or love it, and I would love for you to hate it, only for you to find what you want to do.
Yeah,
there's. Oh gosh, I was really scared because I was looking around my year 10 class last year, and I think the statistic was 60% of them wanted to be engineers. And if you're an engineer listening, you'd know there are jobs are hard. Not everyone needs to be an engineer.
Yeah, I got a brother who's an engineer, and there's not a lot of jobs out there. There's a hell of a lot of graduate engineers.
Yeah, but there are people who got put on the conveyor belt, and you go, we need more variety in the workforce, so go find what you want to do. So I had 2 boys say to me, like, at the end of the 3 weeks, go, "So we love your classes and it's been fantastic, but we cannot stick around." I'm like, "Great. Yeah. High fives all around."
Yeah.
Just keep in touch, because I taught you. You're one of my students now. I have an interest in you because I know you and no one else. Yeah. So,
and they'll be coming back when they're rich and famous.
100%.
All this big circle.
Especially Rich.
Yeah, Rich is more.
Fame, I'm not super worried about, because it's like a glimmering light that disappears.
There has to be monetary value.
Monetary value in an underpaid environment. It's very attractive.
What a fantastic way to end. Well, I know exactly what you mean. And thanks so much, mate. It's been really fun to chat. And
pleasure.
You've shared some really good stuff. And it sounds like you are really making a difference in the lives of those kids. Like, even if it is for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For them to, as you say, hate science or hate that class, that's a meaningful impact, because it means they can actually move on to something else and find what they do enjoy and are good at. So
Yeah.
it's a good ethos, I reckon.
Oh, thank you.
Good stuff.
But don't leave my classes completely empty. I would love a job. So.
Yeah, you still want people to be involved.
Yeah.
So, mate, this has been great. Thanks for chatting, and everybody listening or watching, we'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.
I really hope you enjoyed that last conversation. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, it would mean the absolute world if you like and subscribed or left a positive comment. I know you've heard this all before, but these things really do help the channel grow. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next episode.